everyone, this is Nimish and today we're going to review the movie Munthirivallikal Thalirkkumbol starring Mohanlal. This was his latest movie or the first movie in January before 1971 Beyond Borders, and it was a huge super duper success. It is a mix of comedy and drama, and I'm absolutely glad I watched this movie because I could finally watch Mohanlal in a comedic performance after, of course, the little comedy he did in Mani Chitratal. This was absolutely fantastic. I could not have imagined that he is so completely light-hearted and flexible and amazing in his expressions in comedy, and it was amazing to watch him do that. The first half, of course, deals with the kind of marriage problems or the boring marriage, the boring life that he's having, very serious, and how some kind of sparks here and there reinvigorates him, re-energizes him to kind of go and put the love back in his marriage, and so kind of make it more happier, his family life more happy and everything. And throughout this complete storyline, his completely comedic performance was so good to watch. I'm thoroughly floored by it, and I want to watch more comedies of Mohanlal because he seems to be absolutely fantastic in it. In the second half, however, this movie kind of lost its plot. There were more characters whose stories were explored, like Anup Menon's character, whose basically his story was not very much fun for me to watch. Neither was it entertaining, nor did it feel substantial. It felt repetitive after Mohanlal's own story to again go into that area and to get all those characters. So that part was a little boring. And then it followed to the daughter's storyline about how she's dating someone and she might fall in trouble and stuff like that. And it basically just went downhill after the first half. I feel I didn't really enjoy the second half as much. I was getting a little bored and the pace was extremely slowed down. But I was definitely happy for the first half, which was overall a good kind of attempt at comedy. It was funny. The characters, all the characters, including the neighbor, the lady at the office, they were all really good. And I think that it was amazing to watch the first half. For me, since it's the first time comedic experience of Mohanlal, it was absolute fun. This movie deserves a 3 stars, and I think that I would have given it more if the second half was more better. If it stayed to that plot line of I think her name was Leila. So I think that's the girl who comes from Dubai and stuff like that. If it stayed with that plot line and that comedy for a little longer and kind of focused on those elements and the elements of the panchayat and the politician and how they probably create trouble, if it stayed to that kind of element, even Anup Menon was fine. If it stayed here in this territory, it would have been more fun than immediately shifting gear to getting back into the marriage so soon and putting the happiness back in the marriage so soon. I wish that happened much later, and I wish that the daughter's kind of story was probably not told at all because the movie went too many places at one time, whereas it could have stayed focused and been much more interesting and much more innovative in that way of storytelling, and even much more comedic in a manner. So that's why I'm giving it only 3 stars. Otherwise I would have definitely given it more, because in the 3 stars also I'm giving like 1 star to Mohanlal himself because his performance was absolutely incredible. He holds the movie together, so it's amazing. I also commend, because the movie is successful already, there's nothing's going to change by me saying it or anyone who doesn't like it, but because the movie is successful, I'm absolutely commendable to the writers. They've done a fantastic job. I mean, who would have thought a movie like that on paper, which is really, if you think of it on paper, it seems like nothing, like what is new in this or what is delightful in this. So only in the Malayalam film industry can this happen, that such a simplistic story gets an amazing success rate, and such a simplistic story is performed by the biggest stars and is kind of executed so well and so entertaining. Whereas that's what always kind of I bring up when it comes to especially Nivin Pauly movies. His story seems so plain on paper, like how does he kind of understand? And that's true to some of Mohanlal's movies as well. They might seem very unoriginal on paper, very kind of boring, bland, but when it comes on screen there's this completely new and amazing energy to it that it's absolutely fantastic how those writers and the directors have that belief in such a script and portray it in such an entertaining way. It's amazing to watch that. Another query and concern I had is that I enjoyed the movie Thopil Jopan a lot. Like, I would say that I thoroughly sat through, laughed through that movie, loved Mammootty's performance. It was entertaining. Of course, it was not a classy movie or, so to say, an amazingly fantastic award-winning movie. It was not. But as a plain Malayalam entertainer, I really liked Topil Jopan compared to many other movies that I have watched which have worked in the Malayalam film industry, which I didn't like at all. For example, Nivin Pauli's movie Tatatin Marayatu was something that I really did enjoy. I was just sitting and watching it. Neither could I laugh, nor did I find anything funny, nor did I find anything new. So many people warned me about it because it's something that you guys enjoyed in the theater with your friends, or being Malayalis, getting the Malayalam jokes correctly. So obviously those are hindrances for me. So, you know, from my angle, I didn't enjoy a big success like Tatatin Marayatu. I probably didn't enjoy Munthirivallikal as much as I enjoyed Topil Jopan. So my query, or some would call it a concern, because the Mammootty fan base would be like, that's what I'm saying, Mohanlal's movies just work, whereas Mammootty's movies don't work. But I'm just saying, like, how did Topil Jopan not work with a good entertaining portrayal, and how did Munthirivallikal Thalirkkumbol work, which was pretty much in the second half downhill, flat, simple. You know, there was not so much comedy or entertainment like Topil Jopan. So this is a question I'm throwing open for you guys to answer, because you guys know the industry better. You guys know what exactly the feel is of the audience, what you guys feel. Maybe Topil Jopan was very repetitive. Maybe Munthirivallikal was something unique that you guys didn't see, or maybe it's the whole kind of Mohanlal rocks versus Mammootty should certainly stick to doing some roles that he's good at. I don't know what it is. So, you know, that's my query for you guys. So please let me know what you guys think of Topil Jopan in general, why it didn't work versus why this movie worked. But anyway, I'm going with 3 stars for this movie. It was an enjoyable experience. Looking forward to watching all those comedies that you recommended of Mohanlal. I'm also looking forward to watching those movies, because I can't imagine Srinivasan sir doing a comedic role. Like, I know it must be a situational comedy, but I've only seen him in a serious, composed, sad role. Like, he's so depressed and humbled and sad, and he's just everywhere that I've seen him, he's sad. And although he does that part perfectly, it gets repetitive, boring to watch him in that one tone. So I want to watch him in a comedy also. So, you know, that's why I'm looking forward to those Mohanlal Srinivasan sir combo movies that you guys have recommended, which also sometimes have Jagati sir in them. So I'm definitely looking forward to those after Munthirivallikal. Definitely every movie I watch opens up doors and opens up knowledge to my adds to my knowledge of Malayalam films in one way or the other. 3 stars for this movie. Hope you like this review. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and take care.